and gentlemen, welcome back to the V Games tournament. The quarterfinals here, the last set of quarterfinals, as it were, are underway. We've got Tongfu versus Speed Gaming squaring off in a best of 3 tonight. I am Zyori. I'm slated to solo cast once again, and we're finally in game 1 of this best of 3. Now, we actually got to see Speed Gaming yesterday dominate their group to get to where they are now. They had a mini round robin with 3 teams, Vici and LGD, and Speed was actually the winner of the group, going 2-0, Vici going 1-1, and LGD going 0-2, and actually getting eliminated through the group stage of this tournament. So Speed kind of the ultimate dark horses right now, from a lot of our perspectives.
5 seconds remaining.
And my headphones just got unplugged. There we go. Kind of the dark horse from a lot of our perspectives. A team that not many people expected to even make it out of the group, let alone place in the top, and they looked damn good yesterday. Though with that said, Vici and LGD both tried slightly more gimmicky, kind of all-in pushy type strategies, and Speed did a great job turtling up. In both games, they had an Ember Spirit, and in one of those games, they had a Faceless Void, and that was instrumental to their defense. The question is, how well did Speed Gaming play yesterday? Was it because of their expert late game that they were able to take home dual victories, or was it because LGD and Vici thought they were getting themselves a free win and played maybe a little more aggressive than they should have? Bets for this series are just about dead even, 49% in favor of Speed and 51% in favor of Tongfu. And here we go. Classic Speed Gaming draft here. Faceless Void and Ember Spirit. Worked well for them yesterday. They did hand over the Lycan. They had first pick here, and they opt to first pick the Doom. Tongfu ban out the Bat Rider first. Speed ban out the Brew and Furion, and Tongfu did take some time, but decided to ban out the Slark with their second ban. So Speed Gaming hand over the Dire Lycan as well as the Dire Enchantress, 2 heroes that are pretty often first or second banned here in the East. But they've got a plan for it, it seems. Doom, a pretty good hero to deal with Lycan, and of course just a pretty solid hero all around, a great flex pick with your first pickup. He can play a plethora of roles, a hero that truly needs no introduction, and Faceless Void on Radiant, he can definitely handle the off lane. Hard to say exactly how Speed will set up these lanes, but probably something like an Ember Spirit mid. I would say Void in the position 1 and Doom in the off lane slash jungle, but they have that flexibility. Radiant Void off lane is pretty damn strong. Solo experience. You can find yourself leeching experience pretty easily. You've got the escape mechanism with the time walk, and you're just naturally pretty tanky with the little bit of RNG there on backtrack, and every so often you'll see a Void pick up some kills with a couple of lucky bashes. Now, 3rd and 4th picks do come out. Tongfu grab their mid laner. That'll be the Puck, and they will 4th pick the Silencer. Now, they could be doing something a little bit cheekier here, and it could potentially be a carry Silencer. They could offlane the Puck, throw Lycan in the mid, and they could end up putting Silencer in more of a safe lane farming position with Enchantress in the jungle and another dedicated support here with this 5th pick. I haven't gotten to see Tongfu recently. They weren't looking too strong in WPCA, so that's the last we saw them in full form. And over the tournaments, over the past 2 weeks or so, Tongfu Wangzhou haven't qualified for a hell of a lot. So
Tongfu's turn to pick.
I'm not sure how they like to run their Silencer. This is one of those to each his own sort of heroes. Speed Gaming will grab their Turtle hero, their Ember Spirit, to go with their Faceless Void, and then some damage to dump into that Chronosphere, and of course that is in the Ancient Apparition with his Ice Blast. Not a bad pick there, some natural synergy between him and the Void. And final bans will come out. The Rubik ban by Tongfu, and Speed Gaming ban out the Tide. Remaining. Yeah, Tide could have worked well for Tongfu here. Some good team fight to go with their Puck if they wanted to do more of a conventional position 1 Lycan. Tide on the Dire is a little bit rough, though. We saw in the series yesterday, Tide was in 2 of the 3 games in the mini round robin, and I think the last 2 games, Tide was just feeding up a storm, and both times he was in the Dire offlane, and it's tricky for the Watermelon Man, especially if he's up against a a tri-lane in the safe lane that has some killing power.
10 seconds remaining. 5
Now, this is a best of 3,
remaining.
guys. I'm not sure what the confusion is. I guess on Dota 2
Radiant
Lounge,
team
this is
pick.
listed as a best of 1. Is that the underlying issue here? It is indeed a best of 3. I'm just tabbing out and double checking now, and all of the other quarterfinal matches were BO3s, and I see absolutely no reason why this one wouldn't be.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep, all matches played in the black bracket are best of 3.
Lion.
So Clockwork, the final pick for Tongfu, and it looks like they were looking for an offlaner. Speed Gaming did read it right, which does put Silencer in a support position here, and Speed grabbed the Lion with their last pick. A hero that's been all the rage. Him and Rasta have made a huge resurgence into the competitive scene, and it's all because of that Hex. Maybe not all because, but mostly because of the Hex. It's just a pretty damn ridiculous initiation. And, alright, here we are hopping in the game. You have to excuse me here. I'll be honest, I was having a panic right before we started tonight. My keyboard stopped working. I had to find a new USB port for it. I think one of my USB ports died while I was sleeping, but had a moment of panic when I couldn't type. My spacebar wasn't working. I didn't know what to do. That's why there's no music on this stream when I got things going, because I was frantically trying to figure out what to do with my keyboard there. So, alright, here we are. Game 1 of this best of 3. Speed, hot off their wins yesterday, but we'll see how they fare in a best of 3. Of course, they were just at the 3 BO1s yesterday in the mini group stage. So, we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here. They've got plenty of heroes to turtle up with. Tongfu with some pushing power. And I'm pumped up. On the Radiant side, we do have Team Speed Gaming. It will be ZRD playing on the Position 1 Ember Spirit here in the safe lane. He will be joined by JDH playing on the support Lion, ZYP on the support Ancient Apparition. It will be ZY on the Faceless Void and the solo mid, and Doom will actually be the one playing the offlane, and it will get taken up by KK. We saw him playing the offline yesterday with mixed results. His Tide Hunter left something to be desired in the first game, but of course that was one of the dire Tide games I talked about. And in the second game, he did play a Radiant offlane Bat Rider. We'll see how his Radiant offlane Doom is, starting boots first, doing everything pretty standard so far. Dire side, we've got Tongfu Wang Zhou. It will be Sorry Fox in the offlane Fairy Dragon Puck. U9 will be playing on the Lycan in the solo mid role. It will be Mr. Liuki. Is that how you say this guy's name? Chat, I will defer to your judgment. We've got the Enchantress here in the Dire jungle. Kaboo playing on the Clockwork in the top lane right now. And it will be Zhao LV playing on the Clockwork here. No, wait, on the Silencer in the safe lane. So maybe it is a farming Silencer after all. This is kind of interesting from Tongfu. A farming Silencer. I'm looking at chat. So this is a support Clockwork here with an offlane Puck. Support Clockwork. I'm not sure what to make of this. Looks like he will get lucky with his first sentry here. Finds the sentry ward blocking his pull camp, so we'll be able to get a little bit of lane control back. In the context of the other wards here, Radiant will just get a bunch of rune control. 2 wards down here, and they get the sentry down for a little bit of vision control down bottom. And it looks like there's just one Dire Observer down, and maybe this one got countered. Up top, Doom might get initiated upon here. Zhao doing a little bit of the orb walking, one of the most irritating aspects of this Silencer. Orb walking with the glaives. You can stand next to the creeps, and as long as you're chopping away with that attack modifier on, the creeps will not pull aggro. So you can be a little bit cheeky if you're farming away in lane. In the mid, it will be the Ancient Apparition who's rotated over to help support the Faceless Void, and then down bottom line will pull, get a little lane control back for good old ZRD down here. And he's farming pretty well. So is the Void in the mid lane. Looks like they're about on point. with the position 1 in the mid of Tongfu. Silencer with about 10 CS under his belt. And U9 actually, yep, 9-3. So pretty darn even across the board. I'm just not so sure how well this support Clockwork is going to work out for Tongfu. Clockwork, a hero usually slated for the off lane or mid, the solo roles. And the biggest problem here I see is he needs experience. The name of the game with Clockwork is usually hit level 6 as quickly as possible, get your hook shot online, and then that's when you leave the lane, start moving around, and you kind of become this early mid-game tempo controller because you can hook shot all over the place. We will see a wraparound onto Doom, smoke from Enchantress. She does have a Dark Troll as well as a Centaur, a great ganking duo, but KK with really good positioning here, and yeah, he'll just devour the Centaur, and this should be the end of this gank. Enchantress's first smoke completely quelled by the Doombringer. Handles himself well under the pressure. Kaboo turns on the battery assault, and KK actually turns back into the tower. I'm surprised he didn't just run for it. Last word comes out, and this is your first blood. Odd positioning. I think he could have just made a run for it. I think he was scared of the Dark Troll throwing out the ensnare and getting caught anyhow, so I wanted to make sure he was under tower range, but was going to take a spill anyway, and heading back to the tower could have bought himself some more time. At the very least, could have delayed that a little bit longer to make some time for the Ancient Apparition to come in. Either way, the initial gank will actually end up being successful for the Enchantress, even though it was off to a rocky start.
Top tower is under attack.
And Doom will concede the first blood, so Tongfu, there you have it. They get on the board nice and early. So we will see how this works out for Kaboo. He is halfway through level 3, so he is finding okay experience at the moment. That first kill helping out quite a bit. Puck down to the bottom lane. Perhaps in some trouble, but is able to illusory orb back to safety. The offlane Puck is really the most underwhelming in this match, it seems. Has still yet to secure a single creep kill. Is partway through level 3, so at least finding some experience, but this Puck will not have a blink dagger anytime soon. Everyone struggles in the dire offlane, but Puck, sort of well suited for it. Can survive pretty well, very elusive with the phase shift and the illusory orb, and has some utility with the silence. But they won't be able to rely on this Puck's blink dagger to control the tempos here, which means they need this Enchantress to have some successful ganks. They need this Clockwork to do something, whether it's find some experience, rotate into the lane, and find some kills with battery assault. But those are really their 3 big heroes that have to do stuff in the mid game here to create some space for the Lycan as well as the Silencer. It will take the Silencer a little while to come online. He may opt for a fast hand to Midas. We've seen a lot of Silencers in the position 1 going for that. And then just transition straight into the Ag Scepter. Could be the build that he's going for. Could also just rush the Ags. Couple of options there for the Silencer, but Ags does seem to be the core item that most teams have been picking up. There will be a rotation from Speed Gaming towards the mid lane. It looks like U9 will be their target. KK has picked up a Centaur, so he does have a stun, and ZYP level 3 now with 2 points in the Chilling Touch. They are looking to perhaps pick on this Lycan, but he's now level 6, and this will not be an easy gank. He's a little bit low on mana, but max movement speed does make this pretty easy. Nothing to lock him down for that cold feet to proc. And not a huge amount of synergy between these 3 heroes to try and set up a kill. So, Speed Gaming playing it slow in the early game, just sitting back and farming away. The Ember Spirit is getting some pretty decent farm down here. Kind of an old school build. No points in the Flame Guard here. 2-3-0 at level 6 with his first 3 abilities. The value point in the Searing Chains gets a level 2 to grab that 2-second duration disable. And just maxing the Sleight of Fist for maximum cooldown reduction and maximum damage output as well. Has his phase boots up. We'll probably go into drums, then into Battle Fury crit. That seems to be the standard Ember Spirit item build these days, regardless of what skill build you go for. ZY, oh, almost grabs the double damage rune up top. But it is the Lycan that gets to bottle it up. The Poor Man's Shield and Power Treads picked up for the Faceless Void, so ZY won't go for the super fast farm accelerator. The Hand of Midas seems to be a rarity when Faceless Void heads to the mid lane, and this kind of earlier skirmish build, Poor Man's Shield into Treads, and then probably right into the Mask of Madness seems to be the more common Void build if he's in the mid lane. If he's in the position 1, usually you can get away with a farming tool, the Hand of Midas. On occasion, you'll see the Hand of Midas into Battle Fury if they really want to go crazy with the farm. But here we'll see Void have an impact earlier on and get into those mid-game / laning phase team fights. Now a little bit of push coming into the top tower. KK and JDH will come to make the defense here. Silencer actually going for the Curse of the Silent primary. Very interesting here. We were just talking about Silencer over dinner tonight, and I was commenting on how much I like this opening build. Sorry Fox down bottom, though, taking pressure once again. ZRD going to dive the tower, and there's a kill. Finds it with that sleight of fist, and those extra points he throws into it coming in handy there as the cooldown refreshes only 6 seconds. And the Fairy Dragon takes a tumble down to the bottom lane. That makes it 1-1 as Speed Gaming get onto the field. Or get on the scoreboard, as it were. Initial push from Tongfu is completely quelled. They do about half damage to the top tower, but end of the day, the push is unsuccessful. U9 in the mid lane doing a lot of damage to this tower. Void is now level 7, so he does have a Chronosphere to make this defense. Kaboo off to the side, halfway through level 5, so Hookshot will be online pretty soon here, but not quite there yet. ZRD being cheeky with the Ember Spirit. TP's home, will hop right back to the Remnant, and he'll miss maybe a creep's worth of downtime. Pretty ridiculous. Power of the Ember Spirit. And he go right back to it, chopping away. Finishes up his magic wand and grabs up Greister to start moving into the Drum of Endurance here. So Clockwork takes over the mid lane for now. Rotation from the Lycan up towards the top, and now they want to commit to this tower kill. Here in the top lane, a Tomato in the front lines. Mr. Hellbear Smasher there, and yep, there's your Hand of Midas on the Silencer. So he will be going for that Farm Accelerator. And that will take him out of fighting shape for a little while, so maybe Speed can find a way to punish this. Silencer not known for his mobility in the early stages. You'll even see some Silencers go for a Force Staff before the Ag Scepter, especially if he gets picked on a little bit, just because he's so easy to lock down and just has no mobility. But probably going for a fast Ags, given the early Curse of the Silent. Also just really good against the heroes they had up in this lane. Lion as well as Doom and Ancient Apparition. None of them really have a great spammable ability. You know, like a Chilling Touch or a Devour or an Earth Spike. I guess Mana Drain is the one spammable ability that cancels the Curse of the Silent. But other than that, still worthy of the points. Most Silencers you do see will level up Last Word primarily. Just because it gives you a little more utility and a nice chunk of burst damage there as well. Either way, this push from Tongfu still rendered a bit unsuccessful. The Tomato about to expire. But now Enchantress has found a Wildling Ripper, a much better creep for knocking down towers. We can use this Tornado here. We will miss a kill on the Lycan, but we'll see a kill on JDH here as Kaboo hook shots forward. ZRD TP's in. Searing Chains out onto Zhao. There's the ultimate from the Silencer. And that will repel Ember Spirit, at least for now. Void coming in. Does not have an ultimate. Used it for the kill in the mid lane. On the kill in the mid lane. And now he will be repelled. Curse of the Silent comes out. No way for the Void to break it. And I think he will have to back out. So line falls, but AA did get a kill on the Lycan in the mid lane. Looks like Faceless Void dropped a Chronosphere, and a couple of right clicks from that Chilling Touch was enough to bring him down. Sorry, I did miss that one as the engage was pending up in the top lane. So that will tie it up 2-2 here as Speed Gaming find a much needed kill on the Lycanthrope. He will come right back to the mid though, pressuring this tier 1 tower, takes a stun from the Lion, and U9 will be repelled for now. KK does go for a Hand of Midas here on the Doom, just needs the Gloves of Haste, and looking like an 11-minute or so Midas. Not the best timing for the Doom, but not bad either. U9 takes another Earth Spike here in the mid, and if only Doom had an ultimate. It looks like he used it for the Lycan last time though. Tower gets denied. Finger of Death to drop the Lycan. Oh, daddy. JDH just brings him down. Close range hook shot from Kaboo. Beautiful cogs. Isolate JDH. And this will be a return kill on the Lion, but not before Cold Feet procs. And Lion almost gets lucky there with the RNG as some creeps come in. ZY will have a time walk up in a couple seconds, and Kaboo should go down here. But oh no, an invisibility rune. It'll be enough to keep him alive. One more auto attack. They'll throw down a sentry to secure the kill, and it is Faceless Void that picks that one up. So end of the day in the mid lane here, it is a 2-for-1 exchange support line for the Clockwork and the Lycan of Tongfu. And Speed Gaming find the much better of the trade. Tongfu holding on to an early gold lead, about 1,200, but Speed Gaming with an early experience lead. And they will just go back to farming. Faceless Void picks up the Aquila. A ridiculous item on agility heroes. Some would actually venture so far to say is Aquila a very broken item right now. And sorry Fox, he'll get dove on here. ZRD in the bottom lane, Remnant forward. Another phase shift, Dream Coil gets whiffed. And ZRD has one Remnant left to make the escape. U9 pops the shapeshift, but it won't be enough to chase down ZRD, I don't think. He'll do a little bit of chip damage here, but Searing Chains connect. A little bit of RNG as it didn't connect on the two wolves, but still the Ember Spirit dives it, and he survives it. Anyhow, Aquila, I think it gives plus 18 damage to agility heroes. And with the poor man's shield and power treads, Void puts out a lot of damage right now. He hits pretty damn hard, given he doesn't really have any huge, quote, hard-hitting items. He will just take down this tower here in the mid lane, trying to secure the last hit. And Siege Creep comes in, actually drops the Chrono for this, grabs the tower, time walks out, and a good use of the Chronosphere. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we will see Zhao and Mr. Liuki pressuring the tier 1 tower. JDH trying to defend best he can, but only so much a solo Lion can do. And he will back off. Tower gets finished off by Enchantress. Ends up being a tower for tower exchange, and that will make it 2-1 in total tower count. Tongfu actually does take the lead on that front. Lycan, now with his Vladimir's offering complete, can move into the Roche Pit if he sees fit. Or I suppose when he sees fit is the right statement there. One of the great things about Lycan on the die are access to the Roche Pit, and it will be a little bit difficult for Speed to deal with it. They don't have any wards down outside the Roche Pit right now. Actually, the only ward they have down is this little guy right here, and it's about to expire. So not a lot of map control for Speed Gaming right now. Midas is up on Doom, so he will start farming away. How's the Silencer doing? I keep wanting to call this Silencer Invoker, and I don't know why. But he is just going to go straight for the Ag Scepter. Brown Boots into Ags. Point Booster Ogre Club already picked up. 1,700 gold off the rest of it. And I think Speed Gaming will be well advised to try and pressure the Silencer a little bit and slow him down as much as they can. The Ags pickup is huge. The utility you get is great, but the damage output, nothing to scoff at. With that Curse of the Silent plopped on top of every global. It's pretty ridiculous, and he will have an early Ags, no doubt about it. Faceless Void will finish up his Mask of Madness, so now ZY really in fighting shape. He can solo down a couple members of Tongfu. Enchantress, only 1 point in Untouchable, so Void should be able to solo her down. Actually maxing out the Nature's Attendants. You don't see this build too often anymore. Most Enchantresses I've seen recently opt for the Max Enchant or Max Untouchable, and holy shit, they'll pick up a kill on Puck again in the bottom lane. Guess it was a 4-hero rotation, but oh, now U9 moves into the Roche Pit. Gets scouted out right away. Nice heads-up play. They do have an Observer down. I don't think it saw the Lycan walk in, but they did see him pick up the double damage rune. So he will get repelled for now. Speed Gaming will group up and start chipping at this bottom tier 1 tower, but repelling the initial Lycan into the Roche Pit is actually quite the victory here. They will rotate over, perhaps thinking Lycan still in the Roche Pit. Rocket Flare scouts them out. And Speed, they are looking for a fight. Faceless Void still farming the mid lane, but Chronosphere available. Almost level 11. They are ready for a skirmish. Kaboo, fake pumping the hook shot there, but doesn't throw it. The tower push does get quelled, though, as Tongfu do rotate over, about half damage down to the tower. Pings coming out on Roche. That's actually a ping from the Silencer. He's also level 11 now. So that is a 5-second global. He may be eager to fight as well. Speed Gaming a little bit indecisive here. They were a 5-man squad rotating about the bottom lane. Now Ember Spirit just goes back to farming. He does have his drums up, so a nice mid-game build for him. Still a pretty standard build for the Ember Spirit, but gives him a lot of mid-game prowess. He will just head to the top lane and find some farm, while the rest of Speed head down to the bottom lane. He does have a TP scroll as well, so he will be able to join the party if things start to go south. Or if Speed Gaming find a good engagement. Faceless Void in the front lines takes an illusory orb from Puck as the initial creeps get cleaned up. They do take a fair bit of damage here, but Void pops his Mask of Madness. Starts chipping to the tower, time walk back, playing it safe, doesn't want to get hook shotted on by the Clockwork. And actually was perhaps at risk of that, though, with the time walk, makes it a little bit less scary. Ember Spirit already back down to the bottom lane. Didn't have to TP, just used one of his fire remnants that he left down. But Speed need to get executive here. They need to do something because U9 is pressuring the top tower. That'll be a TP home from ZRD. Connects with a Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and that should be enough to repel the Lycan. Now his team commits down bottom. Kaboo, hook shots over. ZYP in some trouble. He will fall. Dream Coil comes out. ZY taking some damage as well. Throws out the Chrono. Will be able to finish off Enchantress. And now they'll be able to finish off Puck as well. Doom threw out the ultimate. And, oh, it's a disaster for Tongfu. ZRD, he comes back down. A triple kill for ZY. And it ends up being a 1 for 3 across the map here. Lycan's still chipping away at this tower, but a completely lost team fight for Tongfu down at the bottom. And they also defend their top tier 2 from the Wrath of the Lycan. So now, all of a sudden, this Void jumping to the top of the net worth chart. And he just about has a BKB following that fight. That's an Ogre Club Mithril Hammer picked up. And Tongfu just get completely cleaned up. Now things looking a little bit scary. Silencer was very close to his Ag Scepter and actually still damn close to it. About 100 gold off, so with that Hand of Midas rotation, that'll be his Blade of Alacrity, and it'll be flying on down alongside the Staff of Wizardry. Illusion. So his Silence will have a little more utility to it now. Puck still has absolutely nothing. Brown boots, couple of branches, and a Mantle of Intelligence. 17 minutes in, working on his Blink Dagger, about 2/3 of the way there. Had a really rough time in the off lane as a solo Puck. And now we're seeing that for Tongfu. Puck is just a non-factor. I mean, he's less farmed than two of the supports, the Lion and the Enchantress, both finding better farm than the Puck. At this rate, actually, the Lion could have a Blink Dagger before the Puck. He's about 100 gold up on him, and has upgraded boots. Tranquil's out on the line. Puck's only got brown boots at the moment. So that is a pretty large disparity, and giving Speed a decent advantage here. About 4,000 gold, 4,000 experience in the Radiant's favor, and they are off to one hell of a good start. Clockwork will be rushing a Blade Mail here. Not a bad game for it. Ember Spirit can put out a lot of damage if he goes the Flame Guard build, but not quite like a Sand King or something where the early Blade Mail does a lot of damage. If you can time it right, there is some decent return damage coming out, but most of the stuff that Speed Gaming have, you can be pretty reactionary when you see the Blade Mail pop. Tongfu will move into the Roche Pit. Kaboo has an invisibility rune on, initiates on the CYP, close range hook shot, finds a solo kill on the Ancient Apparition, so a decent pick off there. Creates some space for Roche, and with the AA dead, that's the big scouting tool for Speed, and it will be a dead Roche, uncontested here at the 19-minute mark, and it will go straight to the Lycans. ZYP gets a solo kill while that's happening. I keep missing kills on this Puck. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm used to Puck being this elusive hero, so in my head it's like, oh, Puck, he's going to be fine. They're not going to solo kill him. Yeah, Void's going to lock him down again while that Roche is going down. So it'll be a 1-for-1 across the map while Roche is getting finished off. I think I just need some more caffeine, folks. It's 4:30 a.m. here on the Pacific Coast, and I still haven't worked out the sleepies quite yet. My apologies. But, yeah, Puck even just continuing to be less of a factor here. Still only 1,800 gold up on him. Lion now has his Blink Dagger. Support Lion in the position 4. Out-farming this offlane Puck by a pretty big margin. Look at that net worth, 3.7 versus the 2.5k. So Roche, step in the right direction for Tongfu. Their Lycan does have his level 1 Necro book out now, so he will be able to start knocking down towers a little more quickly. Talked about the Ags on Silencer. It is up, and Enchantress working on her Ags. So Tongfu is starting to come online a little bit, but they don't really have a great front liner. Yeah, sure, they've got Clockwork, and the Blade Mail will help him tank up, but Speed Gaming just have so much more damage output in the mid game here, and they will have double BKBs for this next skirmish. KK now level 11, has the Pack Leader's Aura already, and now has a fresh BKB. Void got his complete, so Magic Immunity, a pretty big deal coming up here. Silencer Ultimate a little bit less effective. Puck rendered pretty much useless, and I mean, Lycan will be able to click folks down, but the BKBs will certainly make a big difference in this next team fight. There's your Blink Dagger up on Puck, so about a 20-minute blink. Not the worst timing. Has found a little bit of recovery farm, but still very far behind, and has a while to go before he starts having a big impact. Ice Blast flies through, and I think Void is going to hop forward for a solo kill here. And no, Puck's positioning just a little too good. We'll be able to survive. Now Caboose. Haste Rune on. Oh god, it'll expire right as he gets caught. What a misplay. A little bit of overkill. They burn the Doom Ultimate, Finger of Death, and catch him in the fiery bolas. I think they could have settled for a Doom or a Finger. Probably not both, but still, Speed Gaming, they capitalize and they put him in the grave as they burn quite a few ultimates. ZY, possibly the target of choice for Tongfu, as he is in pretty deep. We'll just time walk away as things look a little sketchy. Man, he'll be just fine. And there's your BKB up on the Ember Spirit. Not a build you see often here. Phase Boots, Drum into BKB. Almost always you see the Battle Fury come out next after this opener. Sometimes you'll see a crit first. Every so often you'll see a Destillator, though not so often anymore. And here we're seeing a BKB. So we'll see how this works out for ZRD. Speed, all about rushing the BKBs this game. So it looks like they do just want to take some nice mid-game fights here, taking advantage, and just punish Tongfu. for some of these farming tools.
Fortified.
Glyph comes out for the Dire as Speed Gaming do group up as 5. They want to show off all these shiny new Black King bars. ZYP way in the front lines. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, U9 is pressuring the tower, but ZY hops forward. They will pick off the Ancient Apparition, but Enchantress caught inside of the bubble. A Silencer ult flies through. Lion does get picked off around the backside. But now they will move forward on Silencer. Fiery Bolas don't connect, but the BKBs are on, and he will get chopped down. It's a 2 for 2 so far. Speed have lost only their supports, though. And now they may try to turn around onto the Lycan.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Top tower does fall. Speed pick up that kill. ZY on the run. No mana left. 2 wand charges. Nope, won't be able to survive. And that'll be an unstoppable streak going the way of the Lycan. Tongfu actually take the team fight. A 2 for 3. Though they do lose their tower. So Speed do find the gold advantage in that exchange. It is a decent skirmish for the Dire side. Level 3 Necro Book now up on the Lycan. They did grab the tier 1 tower down bottom. So actually it was a even tower trade and just a 1 hero kill advantage. The Speed Gaming supports just got completely isolated. Doom ultimate was cooling down during that fight, never got an opportunity to use it. Lion didn't have a finger, and he is now level 11, so that's actually kind of a big deal, and I don't think AA got an Ice Blast off. So Speed Gaming lost out on a lot of their damage output they should have had otherwise. Ice Blast will head to the top lane, and U9 will get hit by it, but just tickles at this point. But level 3 Necro Book out on the Lycan. He's starting to get a little more scary. The BKBs helped keep the cores alive, but it was the supports for Speed that really struggled. They got isolated around the backside. Puck had a pretty nice Dream Coil, and it was all she wrote. Hook shot over from the Clockwork on JDH. Finds some connection, pops the Blade Mail. Lion throws out the finger. It is to his own demise, but does secure the kill onto the Clockwork. I guess reckons he was going to fall anyhow. So at least makes it a 1 for 1, and a pretty even trade. Puck actually gets the kill on the Lion, and AA secures the kill on the Clockwork end of the day. So I guess Tongfu find a slightly better trade. Puck gets the kill, so he gets a bit of recovery for him there. Now 1,500 gold up on him, but still pretty even. Speed Gaming maintaining about a 2,000 gold, or 3,000 gold, 2,000 experience lead. As Void continues to farm away, now moves into the Crystallis. This seems to be the popular Faceless Void build right now. Nice mix of survivability and damage output. Now with a little bit of RNG on top of his RNG. Big crits on Mr. Liuki to get things started off, and Enchantress will take a tumble. Solo kill for ZY, and he'll just TP out. No way for the Lycan to interrupt him, and finds a solo kill. Makes the escape. Well played by ZY. Now takes over as the #1 net worth farmer here in this game, and with that, Lycan's Aegis will actually expire. So Speed just go back to farming. Looks like Doom, well on his way to a Shiva's Guard, has himself a plate mail, about 1,900 gold up. So it won't be too much longer there. Ember Spirit with another 2,000 gold. Have to assume it's a Battle Fury coming out next. Just such a core item on Ember Spirit. Even if you get it late, it's a farming tool, but just lets him do so much damage. Ice Blast will hit the Silencer here in the mid lane, but no follow-up to boot. So Speed taking their time right now. It is pretty even in the context of farming tools. A Midas on both sides, but the only other disparity is the Devourer from Doom. He kind of has that built-in Midas, so he will farm a little bit more quickly. I guess Speed happy to sit back and farm for now. Silencer already working towards his Refresher, has the Perseverance up and another 1,200 gold. Again, a fairly standard item build for the carry Silencer. All about the ultimate, and one of the problems with this build is, well, you're at the behest of the cooldown. It is over 2 minutes at every level. So even though you can take really good team fights with that powerful ultimate with the Refresher, you can still get caught off guard in that window right after you use it, and you don't have your Refresher back up, and you're stuck for those 2 minutes without an ulti. That is one of the problems with the carry Silencer, but still, I think pretty underrated in general. Ice Blast will connect on 2 as they clear out the Ancients, but again, just harassment from Speed, no follow-up damage. Finger of Death already cooled down for the Lions, so this could be an opportunity for Speed to take some fights. If they have a Finger and a Doom, I think they should be roaming around looking to find a pick-off. They have so much gank potential between those two heroes alone, and then Ice Blast from across the map, and even this Void, now level 16, Chronosphere down to an 80-second cooldown, so he can afford to be pretty aggressive. Pop the ultimate willy-nilly, if you will. Doom will make a pit stop before finishing off the Shivas. Grabs himself a Blink Dagger here for some more long-range initiation. Always a good item pick up on the Doom. Now with him and Lion, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to get the jump on Tongfu in these team fights. With either a Doom or a Hex, two great abilities to get things started. ZY pressuring the lane up here in the top lane. Tongfu will start to make a big rotation down bottom. So we could see both sides go for kind of a tier 2 tower race, if you will. Plate mail actually up on the clockwork as well. Perhaps Shiva's coming out for him. So Tongfu will pressure the tower, but Speed have the lane position here. Glyph comes out right away. Void cuts the lane, and a double damage up on Doom. Speed should be able to take out this tower and then TP home to make a defense if they're so inclined. Looking at the TP scroll status, both teams, yep, all 10 players have TP scrolls. Dire's top falls first. Now the Radiant Glyph comes out. They do just want to delay. Ice Blast connects. They will press forward. And a lot of these heroes not in fighting shape. Will be a tier 2 for tier 2 exchange, but now Speed. They'll go high ground. And Tongfu TPing in. Let's take a look at the positioning. Kaboo looking for the hook shot. Their tower taking a lot of damage. The tier 3 goes down to about half health. How will they initiate this? Smart plays from Speed Gaming. The tier 2 exchange is dead even, but a lot of permanent damage out on this tier 3. And with that, they will just back out. Perhaps waiting for Tongfu to step out of the base. There is a Radiant lane ward here that they left behind. So if Tongfu step out of the base, Speed will see it and will be able to capitalize. But they won't be so lucky. Tongfu instead go mid. They smoke up. And are they headed for the wraparound or are they headed for the Roche pit? It will be a fast Roche respawn about 30 seconds from now. Both teams actually choose to smoke up as Speed rotate through the Dire jungle. Tongfu headed for the Roche pit. I guess perhaps thinking that Speed have done a full retreat. Will move into the jungle. But who will catch who? Speed rotating over. And it looks like they will find Tongfu. They need vision though. ZY hops over. Silence comes out. Silencer still the target of choice. ZY still manages to get the ultimate off. He pops his BKB. That's a dead Silencer to get things started. Lion falls around the backside. And the support's actually doing a lot of damage here. ZRD doing some damage as well. ZYP survives for now. Dream Coil comes out onto the Void. He falls, but Enchantress goes down as well. A 2 for 2. Now ZRD the target of choice. BKB on. Fire rendered to the high ground. KK forced to blink back as U9 pops the ultimate and will chase him down. TP out from the Ancient Apparition. And that's where this fight will end. Lion and Void in exchange for the Silencer and the Enchantress. Pretty even trade. Your 2 carries and 1 of the supports. Now Roche's respawn. Tongfu moves straight into the pit. And Lycan will go for it. Radiant side, they don't have any vision to confirm right now. We'll take a look at the F2. But ZYP has an ultimate. There's your Ice Blast. It'll fly through. And Speed Gaming can contest this, I think. Roche not falling particularly quickly. They don't have any minus armor. No medallion on the Lycan right now. So they can't just destroy this Roche as Lycan normally can. But Speed looks like they won't contest it. Even Lion could hop forward with a Hex Stun Finger. He could do a lot of damage to this Lycan though. Oh, now he has a 10-second BKB. This will be a second Roche uncontested for Tongfu.
Sean has fallen to the Dire.
So there you have it. Daedalus now up on the Faceless Void, and this Ember Spirit doing a much different build than he did yesterday. ZRD goes straight into the Desolator. So now Ember Spirit, he is hitting damn hard. And the great thing about this item build on Ember Spirit is he will deploy the minus armor debuff on top of everyone he hits with the Sleight of Fist, as it does count as a physical attack. So he can stack up minus armor on pretty much the whole team of Tongfu in these team fights, which will let the Void and the Doom do a lot more damage, especially the Void inside that Chronosphere. 3,000 gold up on the Doom, so if Shivas is what he's going for, he'll have it pretty soon. Could also be an Assault Kuros for sure. Daedalus on the Void, he is starting to hit hard as well. Sorry Fox down bottom, throws out an aggressive orb. ZYP, or no, just ZY. Looking for initiation, doesn't find it, but we'll just clear out the creep wave instead. Bottom tier 2 tower, looks like that's where Speed want to force the next fight. Tongfu will make a full rotation. We could see another team fight break out. Looking at the gold graph, still holding pretty steady, about 3,000 gold in experience. Speed with a minor edge, but haven't really been able to take a vastly successful team fight yet. All of them have been even trades for the most part. Lycan with a fresh Aegis in the Immortal and a 10-second BKB. This will be a difficult team fight for Speed. Pretty much no matter how they engage it, unless Faceless Void can catch out the Lycan and they can take him down before the fight even starts, or they can catch him with a Doom. Those are kind of the 2 options they have. But they'll see a Fire Remnant in the trees. JDH could be in some trouble here. And oh boy, there's your refresher out on the silencer. A huge item pickup for Tongfu. He's just about to ding level 16 as well. That'll be 14 seconds that he can keep Speed silenced in the next team fight. Just think about that. 14 seconds. Pretty massive. That will be tricky for Speed to deal with, but they do have BKBs. So it's all about the timings. And each time they use those BKBs, think of that silencer ultimate getting just a little bit more powerful. Ember Spirit's already down to 8 seconds, as is Doom's, and I think Void's is as well. Yep. So all of them have already taken a couple of those initial big charges. Tongfu now headed down towards the bottom lane. Lycan looking for a basher here, finds himself that Javelin pickup. And Sorry Fox will just press forward. Oh, bottom tier 2 has actually been taken out. Oh, derp. They did the tower exchanging. Yeah, tower count's still dead even. 4 apiece. Only 1 tier 2 has fallen for each side. Enchantress actually damn close to her Ag Scepter as well. Just about 500 gold away from that Blade of Alacrity. And she has hit level 2 Impetus. So one of the great things about Enchantress as your position 4 is that she will eventually find some farm. And she will start hitting hard. Once you start to move into the late game, or at least the tail end of the mid game, that pure damage will start adding up. And she can really start chunking people down. Puck's still sitting on brown boots, but we'll go straight for his Scythe of Ice. Ultimate Orb and Voidstone picked up already. And just waiting for that Mystic Staff. About 1,600 gold away for him. So the big items are starting to come out on both sides of the aisle here. And honestly, I'm not sure who has the raw item advantage. Doom has now picked up a Shiva's. I think this Desolator is pretty big. Just looking at the armors here. Clockwork has a fair bit, but Puck, only 6. Lycan, not so hot. Silencer with 9. Enchantress with 3. The Desolator is going to do some work. Even the Lycan with 13, minus 7 armor is pretty big. Void hops forward, finds the Enchantress. Hook shot will connect onto JDH, and it will be a support for support trade, but ZY now in some trouble. He'll get stunned up, he pops his BKB, but too little, too late, and he'll take a tumble. It's a 1 for 2, and Tongfu come out ahead. Very sloppy from Speed, and the Void just biting off more than he can chew. It gets cleaned up though, and now with Void down, Tongfu could look to pressure a tower. Speed will kind of group up in the bottom lane here. Ember Spirit in the front lines, they want this tier 2 tower, though I don't think they'll be able to get it too easily as Tongfu move towards the tier 2 in the mid lane. And they'll at least do crippling damage to this tower. Glyph is available for the Radiant, but without the Void, and especially without a Chrono, he may have a buyback here, but without a Chrono, really no point in using it. So that will be the end of the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. And Tongfu will grab the tower advantage. Glancing at the graphs now, closing the lead, and very minor lead here for Speed Gaming. Just about 1,000 gold experience. As we approach the 35-minute mark, Lycan taking over as the leading farmer once further. So Silencer did pop an ultimate there, but never used his refresher. So still has that refresher if need be. And oh yeah, there's your Aghanim Scepter picked up on the Clockwork. Team Ags on the Dire side as Enchantress grabs hers. That's 3 Aghanim Scepters now. And yep, where actually is the Enchantress one? Oh, she still doesn't have it yet, about 500 or 50 gold away. But yeah, now Hookshot's coming out like crazy from Kaboo. He's also sitting level 16. So this is a good time for Clockwork. He's had quite an impact this game, 6, 4, and 6. He's been involved in all but one of the kills Tongfu has put onto the scoreboard. So he has been pretty active, has a Gem of True Sight now that he did steal from the Lion in that last fight. So that's even a bigger kill than I thought, or a series of kills in that last little trade. Lion was carrying a gem and they handed over. So not is it a 2-for-1 trade, but a pretty big value in that gem exchanging hands. The Aegis, however, will get reclaimed, so once again, Tongfu won't be able to do a hell of a lot here with the Lycan's second life. He will take it as a regen rune instead. And he'll just head back to farming. So Tongfu definitely playing this rather passive.
There it goes.
There will be a double damage rune in the bottom spawn. Oh, Speed Gaming. They want to get aggressive now. 5-man smoke to the jungle. Illusory Orb flies through. Of course, doesn't scout out anything. The double damage rune gets left behind, and Speed will come in. Maybe they can pick it up here. Lion comes over. BKB gets popped as he sees it. Oh no, they do it too late. They can't do him in time. Chronosphere comes out from the Void. He'll try and chunk down U9. Does he have the damage? Yeah, he sure does. Lycan falls. Double damage room was picked up by the Void, made things a lot easier. Silence comes out from the Silencer. CY caught inside the Dream Coil. He'll get isolated here. No mana for him. And last word will do a lot of damage. Trying to chunk down Sorry Fox. Ice Blast flies through. Will connect on 2. CY, can he grab this kill? No, he goes down. It's a 1-for-1. Now JDH in some trouble. Ancient Apparition gets picked off by the Clockwork, but whoa, Doom comes out and Enchantress will fall as well as the Silencer. And Speed Gaming level it out, a 3-for-3 trade. KK not out of the clear quite yet though. Necro units chasing him down, and he will get finished off by Sorry Fox for a 500 gold bounty. Now the Ember Spirit on the run. And I think he'll survive. Yep, has the TP scroll, he'll make it out. So a 4-for-3, Speed Gaming do come out ahead, but, or no, pardon me, Tongfu come out ahead, but just barely. As Speed get cleaned up at the end. This Clockwork has done such a damn good job in every fight, find the supports and isolate them. Lion once again unable to use his Finger of Death, and that is huge. Lion's got a Blink Dagger, but it seems the last 4 fights or so he's been completely isolated and gets caught by the Clockwork and has not been able to Blink Initiate or Blink Finger for that matter. Ancient Apparition was able to get an Ice Blast off. He does have the Force Staff, but still got completely locked down. And I attribute most of that to the Clockwork. Kaboo with just great positioning in these team fights, finding the angles to isolate those supports. And even just the Finger of Death alone, that is huge. So much burst damage in that one spell. And potential for a fight to go completely south if Lion can hop forward and get the initiation he's looking for. So Tongfu hanging in there. They will cross the barrier here for the first time in about 30 minutes of this match. And finally take a minor golden experience lead. Lycan holding on to that #1 net worth slot, now has a Skull Basher and the casual plate mail up on him. Assault Cuirass will be inbound, no doubt about it. Faceless Void with about 2,800 gold. Hasn't grabbed anything since the Daedalus, but still hitting pretty hard. Ember Spirit moving into his first Battle Fury. Perseverance and Claymore already picked up, so just a couple of creep kills away, and we'll find well, himself one step closer with that Lycan Wolf kill. But yeah, he'll have that broadsword out in just a few moments. Usually you'll see the Ember Spirits go for the faster Battle Fury for a couple of reasons. One, because it gives you a lot of damage and lets you contribute in team fights very easily early on, but it also just lets you farm faster. At this point, Ember Spirit could be a little bit more farmed had he gone for that farming tool. And now, I don't want to say he's behind, but not as far ahead as he could be. Perhaps a good way to put it. He will get that Battle Fury complete. Lycan going for a Yule's Scepter, still pretty far off the mark, but has himself the recipe. And AA, only a Force Staff, but can't really help for much more. He's been picked off quite a few times, 2, 4, and 6. And, well, he is just rather poor playing the position 5. He is on war duty this game. At least he's level 11 for that level 2 Ice Blast. Tongfu will smoke up all 5 in the mid lane as they rotate through down towards the bottom. They may bump into the Doom. KK, can he get the Blink Dagger off? No, he'll get hexed. Silenced. And everything else under the sun. BKB pop, but Impetus still chunking him down. Lycan will pop his BKB as well. Can they bring down the Doom? A few more auto attacks. And yep, they sure will. Void now pops his ultimate around the backside. They isolate the Silencer. Ancient Apparition did get picked off around the backside as well, but Silencer survives. Now the Void on the run. No more mana left on him. He falls. And it's a 3-for-0. Tongfu find a great team fight. Hook shot out onto blue. He will be able to fire Remnant over the cogs, but still. Tongfu. Great initiation, and they don't give Doom the opportunity to blink out to safety. They now take the lead by a bigger margin. Now about 1,000 gold, 3,000 experience. Roche coming up. He's respawned, so a great time to take that team fight, and this will be third Roche, completely uncontested. Aegis and Cheese will go the way of the dire side. Speed Gaming won't be able to contest even if they wanted to. Void and Doom do have buybacks here. Doom has an ultimate available. Void, though, no Chronosphere. They won't burn the buybacks, and there you have it. Roche falls. Aegis goes to the Immortal. Cheese Aegis to the Immortal goes to the Silencer, and Cheese goes to the Lycan? Nope, actually goes to the Enchantress. And this is the problem with Dire Lycan. You take a team fight here, and Lycan can just drop Roche so easily. He didn't even go for the Medallion this game, which is usually where the Roche Lycan really shines. But Tongfu looking like they might be able to take this game. They don't have an insurmountable lead right now, but the momentum they've gained is pretty significant. And I don't see Speed just retaking this momentum back really anytime soon. They just keep getting initiated upon in every single one of these team fights. One of their supports dies early on. Again in that fight, Ancient Apparition got completely isolated. And even with the Force Staff, he couldn't survive. We were watching the Doom get chased down, but every fight, either the Lion or the Ancient Apparition or both, just get completely locked down. And again, Lion takes a fight without using the Finger of Death. That's really been costing speed. That's now 3 team fights in a row, I think, we've seen no Finger come out. So it does appear Void is looking for a refresher here. Has himself the Oblivion Staff. I guess it has to be the refresher. Can't really think of anything else he would use an Oblivion Staff for. Not going to be an Orchid. Suppose it could be, but that would be pretty clowny. Uh-oh, up top. Initiation comes out on the U9. He pops his ultimate, but Doom able to pop his as well. Silencer throws out a global. And now, hookshot in from the Clockwork. They'll finish off the Ancient Apparition. Sorry, Fox and Mr. Liuki get caught inside of Searing Chains, but Nature's Attendants come out. Void comes through, finishes off the Enchantress. Doom will fall, but Puck, he takes a tumble as well. There's your second Global Silence. Kaboo will be able to hookshot back to safety. Fiery Bolas will slow him down, but he is okay for now. So that refresher from the Silencer coming in handy. Kaboo caught in Fiery Bolas once again. Maybe he can turn it around onto ZRD. Hookshot on. And oh yeah, baby, they bring him down. Beautifully played by the Clockwork. Great use of that Blade Mail. Just completely turns it around on this Glass Cannon Ember Spirit. And oh man, that does tip the scales. That was a pretty even fight, but Tongfu come out ahead at the end by taking out the Ember Spirit. Very well executed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Speed Gaming. Not looking quite as strong today as they did yesterday. And there is your refresher out on Void. See, the biggest problem with the refresher Void is the mana pool. Let's do a little bit of math here. 200 on each Chronosphere. So if you want to do a double Chrono, there's 400. And then your refresher is 375. So we're looking at 775 mana for that full rotation. And that's his entire mana pool with boots not on int. So if he puts his boots on it, that's the full rotation and then 1 time walk. And that's it. That's all you're getting out of the Void. So he can get off the double ultimate. It's just very costly and it's a pretty close call. Most Voids you'll see, if they really want to buff up the ultimate, you just go for the Ags. It reduces the cooldown down to 60 seconds, gives you a little bit more duration. So just tips the scales for that uptime, and usually a minute is just enough. You're not going to team fight more often than once every minute, usually. So the refresher, just kind of an odd choice. Sometimes you'll see the refresher out on Void if he's going full utility, like in an off-lane Void, and he already has an Ag Scepter, but it's still pretty rare. Usually, Voids that get Ags will ultimately just go for damage items after that. So he could double Mask of Madness. Yeah, that's pretty crazy if he wants to do that. Mask of Madness is another 25 mana. So he'll have to put his treads onto int if he wants to do a double Chrono and 1 Mask of Madness with the refresher. Just doesn't have the mana pool for it. I don't know. Questionable, I would say. Questionable from the Faceless. More big items coming out for Tongfu, though. Double Hex up for them. Puck had his quite a while ago, but now Invoker. Why do I keep wanting to call Silencer Invoker? I've been doing it all game, and I can't get it out of my head. The Silencer, he now grabs his Scythe Device to go with his Refresher Ags, and still hanging on to that Aegis after 3rd Roche. Shiva's now picked up by the Clockwork, and actually Doom has picked up a Refresher as well. KK has found pretty good farm this game. Show us the cooldown of BKBs. Alright, take it easy there, Yamadeski. 5 seconds on the Doom. We've got 4 seconds on the Faceless, and Ember Spirit, he should be down to 5. Nope, down to 6 seconds himself. So there you go. That's your duration on the BKBs. No BKBs on the Dire side. Another broadsword picked up by the Ember Spirit. So I reckon he's going for a crit. Yep, there you go. Chrysalis picked up right away. So now just moving into that big hard hitter Ember Spirit. And a refresher on Doom. So they do have the double Doom in this next team fight. They got their gem back, which is nice. To me, it just seems like all about initiation in these next team fights. Double Doom, double Global Silence, 2 Hexes on Tongfu, and a Chrono. It's just all about who catches who. And uh-oh, this could be it. Smoke from Tongfu. They'll rotate through the jungle. Speed Gaming all grouped up here. Sorry Fox hops forward, but takes a lot of damage to get things started. There's your first global. BKBs come out. ZY connects with the Chrono onto the Enchantress. Not the ideal target, but Kaboo. Now he takes the Doom. At least the first Doom. There's your second Silence. KK, the target of choice, completely out of mana. Does manage to get off his second Doom as well. Throws it out onto U9. Puck, the only one to die so far. Ice Blast flies through. That's a kill on Kaboo. Speed Gaming will take it out so far. Finger of Death. That's a dead Silencer. It's a 3-for-0. Going the way of Speed. Soon to be a 4-for-0 as U9 gets caught in the fiery bolas, and he will fall. Silencer, he died twice that fight. No buybacks on Speed, and it's a complete 4-for-0. Enchantress, the only one to survive, but it's just an Enchantress. Speed Gaming, they level it out. They regain the momentum. What happened? The BKBs are just too much. The double Doom. Void, he couldn't get off the double Chrono.
Dire's middle tower.
He did refresh though, and now does have a Chrono available.
Dire's structures.
So you don't need the double for the team fight, but now he at least has it for an upcoming skirmish. Speed will just press forward for high ground here. Tongfu, what's the buyback status? Lycan, nil. Silencer, nil. Clockwork, nil. They've got nothing. This will be Elena Rax. I think Speed Gaming might have done it with that team fight. They will do some pretty crippling damage here. They might be able to rotate top with Lycan and Silencer down. They will. This could be 2 lanes of Rax. This could actually be close to game. Oh, Mr. Liuki. He'll get caught in the trees, and I think they'll have the vision to bring him down. Yeah, they will. Puck comes forward with the Illusory Orb, but there's your tier 3 in the top lane down. This is going to be 2 lanes of Rax. 2 wards coming down in the base. Hookshot forward from Kaboo. Now the fight breaks out. ZY taking a lot of damage. A Dream Coil popped as well. They'll finish off the Faceless Void. They did lose their range Rax. Melee still standing. KK now left behind. He will get stunned up. Hookshot connects at point blank, and they clean it up. Doom takes a tumble. The gem hits the deck, and Sorry Fox will come over and pick it up. Yep, there you go. Oh, Lion. Finger. Not enough mana. Oh, no. So bittersweet for JDH. And then Blade mails himself. Oh, gosh. Oh, golly. Bad news bears. Mana issues all over the place for Speed Gaming. But either way, a little bit sloppy. End of the day, they get a lane and a half of Rax out of it. They might get cleaned up, but still find a pretty decent trade there. Now, Roche coming up in about a minute and a half, so Speed Gaming will still be able to contest. It is a 4th Roche coming out. Yule's Scepter of Divinity. Ooh, completed by the Lion. There you go. Scouting out the Roche pit with the AA Ice Blast. And they will see it hasn't respawned quite yet. Probably a sigh of relief for the Radiant. Looking at item progression, have we seen anything picked up following that fight? Nope. Ember Spirit, very close to a Daedalus though. Can actually afford it here. Though, does want to pull for buyback. Like him in the top lane, will take out this tower. He forces out the Glyph. And actually, oh, backdoor protection flies through. So this tower will regen back up to about half health. Very nice. So everyone will just go back to farming for now, looking at the gold graph. Speed finally taking a huge lead. About 7,500 gold. Experience is still leveled out, but they will take some pretty serious map control here with the Rax down. And they've got a lot of vision, so they know what's going on. They know when Tongfu are defending, and they're in a good position to group up and take another team fight, perhaps after this Roche. There's your Daedalus up on the Ember Spirit. Plenty of gold left for buyback on him. And all the core heroes from Speed do have buybacks. All the refreshers are up. Doom, Void, and the Silencer. Yep, they're all ready to refresh and double ulti. Roche now respawned. Ancient Apparition picks up another gem as Puck is carrying around the first gem as a trophy still. Yep, that's the JDH gem. Tongfu with a smoke. Kaboo in the front lines, looking for the initiation. Let's take a look at the positioning here, see how everyone's looking. Radiant side, they will take the south side of the river. Tongfu thinking they're up on the left side. They won't find the initiation. And uh-oh, now Kaboo's the one initiated on. Silencer pops the ultimate. That will keep Kaboo alive. Shivas comes out as they initiate. And Kaboo, he'll just get completely crunched on. Dead Clockwork to start things off. U9 pops his ultimate. BKB's on. Second global. First chrono. Complete whiff. Now the silencer, locked down by the Doom. Lion will buy back as he gets finished off by the Lycan. Dream Coil comes out, and maybe KK will get caught with his pants down here. Yep, the BKB on U9 will be enough to secure the kill, and Enchantress gets picked off by the Ember Spirit. Buyback from the Doom now, double buyback from the Radiant. It's been a 2-for-3 exchange, but now Chrono comes out. U9 completely isolated. Cold Feet will proc, and the Lycan falls. As the Void grabs a crit. Buyback on the Dire, there is one on the Lycan. Puck, the lone survivor though. And with that SpG Gaming, they might not even go for Roche. They'll press forward, they use these buybacks, and they want to end this game. Yule's out on Puck, there's the Hex. Follow-up damage isn't there. Finger of Death available, but no mana. Oh no! Oh, Lion! Get yourself a null tally. Can fucking Gradies, you can buy null tallies, dude. You need it. That's the second time he's been caught without enough mana. Buyback from the Lycan. Still a 5v2 on the field.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Void doesn't have a Chrono here. But their top lane of Rax will fall. Silencer down for another 25. SpG Gaming, are they going to go for tier 4s here? There is a tier 2 still standing in the bottom. They have a small window.
Dire's middle tower
Maybe they could do it. Nope, they will just back out. And looks like they have their sights set on Roche. Though they wasted a fair bit of time, and this won't be super easy for him. Tongfu can contest this, perhaps. Now Roche falling very quickly. If Tongfu wanted to come, they'd have to leave the base. A little bit faster than that. Kaboom maybe looking for a hook shot in. We'll look at the angle. Almost there in time. Oh, he just can't make it. The YOLO hook shot off the mark, and Roche will fall to the Radiant. The Chrysalis actually goes down as Ember Spirit picks up the cheese, and Aegis goes the way of Doom. GG from Tongfu. They'll tap out. SpG Gaming take game number 1. 53 minutes of gameplay. And SpG Gaming somehow find their way into a win. It looked like Tongfu had momentum for most of the game, but they throw it away. Well, SpG Gaming, their Ember Spirit Void seems to be tried and true. The last 3 games over the last 2 days, I've seen them run these heroes quite a bit, and to much success, 3-3 as it were. So we'll see if they can lock this series out 2-0 over Tongfu, or if Tongfu can take us into a nice ace match, but only time will tell. Mistakes on both sides, but Speed come out ahead with double refresher on Faceless Void and Doom. We'll have a short break, then Game 2 coming up after this, guys. Thank you for joining us here on BTS2. I'm Zyori, solo casting for tonight. Only one best of 3 for the V Games quarterfinals. We'll be back with Game 2 coming up next.